Yeah.
Monster, Red Bull, Full Throttle, AMP, and Rockstar. As many of you guys recognize, these are names for different types of energy drinks, which people consume all around America. However, the group of people who consume energy drinks the most are young adults. According to the New York Times, about a third of 12 to 24-year-olds consume energy drinks on a regular basis, making more than $3 billion in revenue in the United States. Some of the reasons why teens are drinking energy drinks might be because they have a big game coming up in their school, like sports, like basketball or baseball, or just because they need extra energy for physical activity like running. That's not the case these days. Teens are drinking energy drinks regularly, like every single day. And today, that's why I want to talk to you guys about some of the reasons why drinking energy drinks every day is something that can harm your health. I'm sure that some of you guys have had an energy drink once or twice in your life sometime, but you might not know how they are actually harming you from the inside. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about how they can harm you by causing you different types of side effects, how you can gain weight, and how you can possibly develop different types of cardiovascular problems. So to start off, I'm going to talk to you guys about how energy drinks, actually I'm going to talk about what are some of the ingredients that they contain. Well, to start off, they contain different types of sugars, like glucose and fructose, about 29.7 milligrams of B vitamins, 100 milligrams of taurine, and many other different types of ingredients. But the major ingredient that they all have is that they have lots of caffeine. According to foodinside.org, an 8.5 ounce energy drink has anywhere from 50 to 160 milligrams of caffeine, compared to an 8-ounce cup of coffee, which can have around 100 milligrams. So depending on what your favorite brand of energy drink is, you can actually be intaking more caffeine from that than you are from a cup of coffee. However, no matter what is your favorite brand, the thing is that they all have two major ingredients, which is lots of caffeine and lots of sugar. And they are the ones that actually are responsible for that major sugar rush effect that you get when you actually have an energy drink. So now that you guys kind of know what the two major ingredients are, which is sugar and caffeine, I'm going to talk about how you can possibly gain weight. Livestrong.com states that you can actually start to get jittery, you can start to get anxious when you have an energy drink. You can also start to get addicted to them. Just like there are people who are addicted to coffee and sodas, there are people who can actually start to get addicted to energy drinks because of the amount of caffeine that they all contain. However, one of the most common side effects that people develop with energy drinks is that they start to get really tired. That's something that happened to me once. I took an energy drink when I was in my grad night in high school, and sure, I was all excited and I had lots of energy. But then an hour later, I got a physical breakdown. I was just really, really tired, and I think I would have had a better night if I hadn't had it in the first place. Another thing that you can actually also get while drinking energy drinks is that you can gain weight. Some of the reasons why you might gain weight is because, well, they contain a lot of sugar. And what sugar does is that it gets absorbed quickly into the bloodstream, and it triggers a hormone called insulin. What insulin does is that it basically breaks down the sugars, but when you intake too much, you can actually start to, your body actually starts to store that extra sugar as fat, so that's a way that you actually gain weight. You can also gain weight because there's a hormone in the body called leptin, and what happens is that a sugar that's in energy drinks like AMP, called fructose, interferes with the leptin levels of the body, so it basically messes up your entire eating system. So instead of you eating less than you usually, you're going to eat more, so you're going to gain weight that way as well. Finally, energy drinks can also affect the cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular system is a system that's composed of the heart and the blood vessels. And you can, like I just mentioned, you can gain weight by drinking energy drinks, but you can also, the extra weight that you're gaining can actually affect your heart, because your heart is going to have to be pumping harder than it needs to, because your fat and your body needs blood, and just like any other tissue, so your heart is going to be pumping faster than it usually is. So that's one way energy drinks are affecting your heart. Also, in 2007 at Wayne State University in Michigan, they did a test to see how energy drinks are affecting the heart and the blood vessels. What they did is that they had patients in their 20s consume 2 energy drinks every day for the next 7 days straight, and see how that would affect the body. They would measure their heart rates and their blood pressure within 2 hours of consuming the energy drinks to see how it would affect them. Results showed that there was an 11% increase of beats per minute, meaning that there was an extra 7 beats within each minute of the heartbeat, along with a 7% increase in blood pressure. And having these types, having high blood pressure and having a high beats per minute of the heart is actually, like I said, it harms you because your heart is beating faster than it needs to. So you can potentially have a higher risk of dying from a heart attack compared to someone who doesn't drink energy drinks daily. So now that you guys have a pretty clear view of how energy drinks can potentially harm your body by giving you different side effects, losing weight, and possibly harming your heart, I hope that you guys take the decision of not consuming them daily, because in the long run you can always have that chance of dying sooner, and like I say, a happy life is a healthier life. Thank you.
All right, since we were missing all those people who are going to do the peer evaluations, I guess I'll just dive right into my comments. I thought that you had an excellent opening. The list of words worked pretty well. Then you set up the topic. You've got a nice statistic to draw us in. And then you've got a very clear statement of a claim of fact that you're going to be arguing for. You preview what the secondary points are very clearly, so all of that's fine. Sometimes your internal transitions could be a little bit smoother. They're usually clear. We can see where you're going, but you do kind of still have that mechanical sort of thing that you're going through it, and instead of it flowing just a little more naturally, it sounds like you're having to think about, all right, and now my first point is, now that I'm done with the first point, I got to get to the second point, and so you got to get a little bit, something a little bit more natural than that, but you're on the right track. I mean, you're doing exactly what you should be doing. It just is, it needs to flow a little bit more smoothly. I think that you started off pretty well with the factual data on the ingredients in the energy drinks, and you've got a personal example where you talk about taking it and having the crash that you go through, and that adds a little bit of ethos there. It gets us somewhat emotionally involved. I think when you get to the argument about weight gain, you label it as weight gain, but you don't really get to that for like 2 minutes. It's really your second point, instead of weight gain, is about being addicted, and then you've got this whole section on addiction and how people, they have to keep consuming it, they have problems that they get away from it, they get nervous and jittery, so on and so forth, and then after a long period of time you get to the weight gain argument. So you may actually have 4 points instead of 3, and that's okay. Just make sure that you label it clearly inside of the speech. I think I could have used a little bit more source citation on a couple of the claims about the risk. For instance, all the explanation about lactin and how it affects the system. It seems very hypothetical. If there's some research on this, that would be really good to cite. The risk of heart disease, or for instance, people having heart attacks because their heart rate